Mark, over to you.
Well, joining us now to look at the first topic we were looking at, talking about the military setting up a 7-member board to inquire into some of the human rights allegations against it, is Vince Onyekwelu, who is a security consultant and a former British police officer. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
What was your initial reaction when you heard the Nigerian military setting up a 7-man board to look into these allegations of human rights allegations against it?
Yeah, on one side, I think it was positive. It was a good feeling that at the end of the day, they're beginning to listen to the cries of the people, the cries of the masses, the cries from international organizations, asking them to do the needful. Obviously, that was a good plan for them. However, with that first feeling comes a second feeling of questions. Right now, we've got a 7-man committee that are almost 90%, if not 100%, serving military officers, army officers, or ex-army officers. So that straight up asks questions about if they are actually planning this very well. And let me break more details into this. They are supposed to be looking at the issues that happened in Zaria against the Shiites. They're supposed to be looking at issues that happened against the Massabs in the southeast. They're supposed to be looking at issues that happened against the IPOB members in the southeast. Now, when you look at the structure of this 7-man board, you ask yourself, how many of them are from the certain ethnicity of Nigeria? What is their religious background? We have to face these questions because we're talking about issue of national peace, because they're supposed to bring national peace and bring a kind of a compensation to the people that felt their loved ones has been murdered in very unceremonious ways. Now you ask yourself questions, are any of them from the southern part of Nigeria? Yes, one of them is from the southwest, but are any of them from the southeast of Nigeria, where those Massab members and IPOB members we are massacred?
You believe that balance is important?
Oh, there's lots of balance there's lots of imbalance right now. Number one, we are still lacking information having the background of these men. We know they're army officers, that's number one, but what's their academic background? What is their expertise in this kind of issue? What is their experiences? What is their track record on managing kind of investigative committee? What is their experience in investigation itself? To the best of my knowledge, I stand to be corrected, the army are not the best when it comes to issue of investigation in Nigeria. We know the champions of investigation in Nigeria right now, crimes and investigation. Are they experienced in forensics? Are they ready to exhume bodies and look at the point of bullet penetration into the bodies?
Who are the experts in investigations right now?
Obviously, from out of my heart, I will believe the Nigerian police are more trained. They face everyday experience in investigation. I'm not saying the army don't have experience at all, but when it comes at the kind of nature of job the army does, their investigation is not around civilian societies. It's supposed to be between national army. It's not supposed to be what happens in Aba or Onitsha among civilians or in Zaria. But I believe the Nigerian police are more trained, better qualified. Now, if we also compare what has happened in other climes of the world, example, Rwanda, after the genocide in 1995, when the United Nations set up a committee there, you look at the structure. They were not only looking at investigation, they only looked at mediation. Not only mediation, they also looked at compensation. So you have to structure this in this way. But what we have right now, with all due respect, I believe the Chief of Army Staff has done well so far. I believe he has lots of success to kind of talk about so far. I believe the idea of bringing this committee is actually credible. However, those 7 men, purely army officers, no, that is not the best way. Secondly, we're not supposed to have the chairman and the executive as army officers. What of loyalty? Because when you say once an army officer, always an army officer, what of issue of loyalty? Would they be construed to be loyal to the Chief of Army Staff? Will that impede on their independence to be honest, to give us a thorough investigation? The second issue about what of civil society organizations? What of credible, experienced investigators that have worked across the world that understands the template of investigation?
Well, we're not being preemptive here. I mean, because we're already assuming that perhaps because this body is peopled mostly by members of the Nigerian military or former members of the Nigerian military, we think that they could be biased. And that's all in a matter of perception. It's not been proven that they will be biased.
It's like asking, example, let me use the IPOB members. It's like asking them to do an internal investigation about their actions to see if they think their actions are justified. And if you give them that kind of responsibility, their officers will now choose officers among themselves. What do you expect to get? Most of the time, we are all human beings. You're going to get something that is more in favor of IPOB members. It's like asking the Shia organization movements to go and do an internal investigation about their actions to justify if it's fair to Nigeria and to the people that live around Zaria. Human beings, you're going to expect a level of loyalty to their vision and to their mission. So the same thing applies to the Nigerian army. They cannot be seen to be sitting in judgment. They cannot knock on a door and open the door.
The reason I ask this is because if you look at the reasons that the Nigerian army, the chief of staff has set up this body, you know, talking about some of the infractions that have been mentioned, and he says that some of their men, some of their officers